Jai Hind everyone. Today we have with us Commander Ram Gurung. Sir is 83 NDA. Then he served with submarines, which is one of the most challenging arms in the Indian Navy. After that, he worked with a consulting company, Grant Thornton. Besides, सर ने ट्रांजिशन से पहले एफएमएस से अपना एमबीए किया और इंडियन स्टैटिस्टिकल इंस्टीट्यूट से सिग्मा ग्रीन सिक्स सिग्मा में ग्रीन बेल्ट लिया. And now he has started his journey in consulting and counseling focused on transitioning officers from uniform to corporate. And he helps them with personal coaching, he helps them with the transition advice. Today, we have invited him to share his experience and his knowledge on the differences between the culture, working culture in the uniform services and the corporate, and how can military veterans adapt themselves to the corporate culture for better assimilation and better career progression. So thank you for your time and joining us today, sir.
Thank you, Vipul, for inviting me to this particular talk show. Really love being here and also admire the kind of work that you and your team are doing to help the transitioning veteran make their transition journey simpler and be successful in their second inning. Thank you so much.
So now we know that फौज का एक पर्टिकुलर तरीका है काम करने का और कॉर्पोरेट का एक पर्टिकुलर तरीका है. There are some commonalities and there are some differences. Now, since you have been in both the kind of work environments and उसमें भी you have been in most difficult work environments. Navy में you were in submarines and corporate में you were in the consulting roles. What do you think are the key challenges which military veterans often face when they're adapting to corporate culture, and how can they effectively overcome them? I mean, I'm talking about the mental shift which military veterans need to make.
Okay. So let's, Vipul, first understand what culture is. Right? Well, let's start from the basic. वहां से start करते हैं. So अगर हम culture का definition देखें ना, तो what actually it says is the values, beliefs, or behaviors that determines the employees and management. How do they interact, perform, and handle business transaction. थोड़ा complicated लगता है, but simple भाषा में अगर कहें तो काम कैसे करते हैं. Right? काम कैसे करते हैं. So that is basically a culture and it gets built over a period of time. So people also say that, culture is something which actually is not written anywhere. It's unwritten rule that is followed in a particular organization or a company. Now you rightly brought out, there are salient difference between the military culture and the corporate culture. तो पहला जो मेरे दिमाग में आता है ना, वो है कि military में there is very strict hierarchical, let's say layers as compared to the corporate. Corporate there will be less hierarchical layers, more collaborative nature of work. In fact, जब हम corporate जाएंगे, like first time I went, so people actually called me by first name, which I was not very, very comfortable with. फौज में तो हम लोग सरनेम से बुलाते हैं, right? So there people used to call me Ram, whether he was 20 years junior to me or 10 years senior to me. I was Ram for everyone, so getting used to that, calling somebody by first name. Second is the communication style. फौज में क्या एकदम direct है, concise है, ये that's all. Right? Corporate में little more diplomatic, because if we talk the way that we talk in the military, then I think it will be difficult to adjust and sustain over a long period of time among the civilians, corporate men. And third is, to understand the organization dynamics, informal power structure. Who are the influencers? Who are the key decision makers? And how is one particular person related with other with respect to the organization, with respect to the responsibilities? तो ये सब समझना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड कैसे हो सकता है? फर्स्ट थिंग, एक्सपेक्टिंग कि कल्चर चेंज तो होगा एंड एक्नॉलेजिंग दैट कि कल्चर चेंज है. फर्स्ट वन शुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट एंड एक्सेप्ट. सेकेंड थिंग इज टॉक टू मोर पीपल जो ऑलरेडी फौजी कॉर्पोरेट में हैं, आपके सिविलियन दोस्तों से बात करो कि हाउ इज योर कंपनी, हाउ डू यू डू दिस थिंग, हाउ डू यू टेक डिसीजंस. Okay. And in fact, I'll tell you, once I went for my interview in the Gurgaon office, okay, DLF, and मैं अपने time से almost 1-1.5 घंटा पहले ही पहुंच गया. You know why? Because actually I just wanted to see corporate होता कैसे, because that was the first time ever I entered into a corporate setup. तो मेरा जो second and third round का interview था, so I went 1.5 early. I just sat there, okay, looked around, went to their canteen, and actually I wanted to have a feel of that. लोग कैसे बात करते हैं, कैसे dress up करते हैं, you know, how things actually happen. So that was my first interaction with the corporate. So you lot of time you learn by just being there, observing things. So if you get opportunity to go to your friend's office and sit there for some time, one must do that. Because उससे थोड़ा सा corporate की vibe पता लग जाएगी आपको, culture क्या difference है. Over to you.
Sir, second, जैसे आपने बोला informal hierarchies and who are the influencers, So how can transitioning veterans actually navigate these corporate hierarchies and understand the undercurrents, the dynamics to handle them effectively for advancing their own careers within the chosen organizations?
Okay. See, first thing जो हम कर सकते हैं ना इसमें is to understand the formal and informal hierarchies, right? Because we know that organization chart में कुछ है, but when you actually see on the ground, you could find some difference between these two. So I remember I used to take the organization chart of our company, of our team, and I used to see, okay, how is one particular person related with other, what all duties is that particular person doing. So because the more we understand about the responsibility of each and every one, it becomes easier for us to connect and build a rapport, which is very, very important. And the second thing is, if you're not able to understand that, take help of somebody, because they know that this particular person has come from a different environment, different way of doing things. So people will actually take a step out and help you. But the only thing is you need to seek that. अगर आप नहीं पूछोगे तो उनको लगेगा शायद इसको ऑलरेडी आता है या पता है. Right? So moving out of that our comfort zone and asking people that this is what I understand. Is this the way the things are, or is it a little different? So the other person will definitely take that extra step to help you. But only thing is if you seek. And one more thing, what I want to highlight is, whatever one person actually is working on, deliver the best quality result. Because उससे क्या होता है, especially in the initial time when you have just joined, that is the time when actually you start making the impression. जिस तरीके से आप काम करते हैं, जिस तरीके से आप बात करते हैं, जिस तरीके से आप initiative लेते हैं, not only for your project, maybe you are helping other people as well in different projects. So that basically showcase that yes, here is a person who is quite dynamic, फौज से आया है, and what we have heard about the फौज is he's a true role model. Right? So develop meaningful relationship with these people at different levels. आपके अपने टीम में हो सकता है, क्रॉस फंक्शनल टीम में हो सकती है, and try to help as many people as you can, because that helps to build a rapport. And as we heard, some wise men said that I helped someone climb a mountain, and in the end I realized that I was also on the top. Right?
Wow.
Over to you.
Okay. Sir, now you said that deliver exemplary quality results or superlative results. What strategies can actually veterans employ to maintain that sense of purpose for delivering the results and gain that fulfillment in their corporate roles, especially when they transfer from an extremely hierarchical and rigid structured environment of the uniformed forces?
Okay. In fact, what I'll say is, things actually start before someone reaches to that particular company. जब हम planning कर रहे हैं, जब हम apply कर रहे हैं, that time only we should fix which are the companies or select the companies which actually matches with your own values, systems, beliefs, what your priorities, so that later accepting that and becoming a part of that becomes very, very easy. And you will be actually be happy there, and you'll also have a job satisfaction. अगर पहले से हमने ये काम कर लिया, because we have already selected the kind of organization that we want to be part of. In fact, last month I got a call from someone who want to move from the current job because he's not liking the way that things actually happen there. And he happened to join because somebody whom he knew, उसके पास एक link भेजा, उसने link में apply कर दिया, and he got the job and he joined. Now, had he done some homework before moving there, I'm sure actually he would have not landed in this particular scenario. And the second thing, to keep your focus and the finding the purpose is make some short-term and long-term goal with respect to your professional development, because learning should never stop. Because if you're moving into a new environment or new corporate, obviously you're looking for at least 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years ahead. And you want to move up the trajectory, up the level, right? So career plan बनाइए, short term, long term goals, and just be on that. It could be getting your PMP, या Scrum हो सकता है, या Agile हो सकता है, cyber security से related कोई courses हो सकते, तो उसको कीजिए, because that will keep your mind on the task, and it'll also give you happiness and job satisfaction, because you're doing something which is very, very beneficial to you and to your team and to the organization. And third thing I'll say, now, because you have become a part of the new organization, so be fully into it, right? Take part in the kind of social gatherings, social events. वो होली के लिए हो सकता है, दिवाली के लिए हो सकता है, 26 जनवरी हो सकता है, 15 अगस्त हो सकता है. I mean, कोई भी, या voluntary program हो सकती है, blood donation, tree plantation. I mean, whatever it is, just be a part of that new organization. अपने पूरे तहे दिल से उसको accept कीजिए, because you are going to grow in that particular organization here on, and that will actually help you. Okay, I remember, हमारी company we had gone on offsite. You know what offsite is like? People taking all the people to a new location. So we went for 2 days campsite, and we were almost 80 of us. And what I realized was the way I used to interact before I moved on. I went to the offsite, and after offsite was very, very different. Because I had built a kind of a rapport with other people, the kind of bond with other people. It was totally different, because ऐसी जगह में हम जब जाते हैं ना, तो लोग थोड़ा खुलते हैं, थोड़ा open up होते हैं. So one must make use of all these avenues and not shy away from that कि नहीं, मैं जो है कुछ प्रोग्राम आ रहा है, कुछ इवेंट्स आ रही है, या ट्रेनिंग आ रहा है, या सेमिनार आ रहा है, तो I will not go there. I'll either take leave or I'm not interested. तो अगर ऐसे करेंगे, then it becomes difficult to adjust, and once it becomes difficult to adjust, then obviously getting job satisfaction and having that purpose is little difficult. Over to you.
सर, इंटीग्रेट करना, आपने जैसे बताया, टू इंटीग्रेट फुली इनटू दी जॉब रोल्स एंड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, अलग अलग इनिशिएटिव, बिल्कुल सही है. प्लस आपने बोला कि एक्सीलेंट परफॉर्मेंस के लिए जो है वन शुड गेट अ फोकस कि उसको करना क्या, और उसके ऊपर. एंड देन यू सेड एजुकेशन, या जैसे स्क्रम मास्टर, और यू सेड दोस थिंग्स. So my last question would be, what role does these ongoing professional skilling, certification, development play for the veterans once they are settling, and what kind of resources and opportunities you would recommend so that they kind of deliver that superlative performance?
Okay, good question. So one needs to understand that upskilling or learning is a lifelong journey, and it's not just a one-time event कि मैंने कुछ particular course किया, मेरी job लग गई, and now I just have to focus on the job, that's all, right? मेरी professional certification है, या courses या program है, उसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, right? Because we need to keep sharpening the axe, otherwise थोड़े दिन में वो blunt हो जाएगा, and you will not able to cut. As simple as that. So these programs, like it could be even an MBA. I remember in my earlier company, there were few people who were actually doing evening classes MBA, because they were very serious about moving up their careers. And jitna hum upar jate hain, at some places, this particular degrees actually they make a lot of difference. And second thing is, a lot of companies I'm talking about once they actually go into the company. A lot of companies actually send their employees, their people for seminars, for trainings, or for workshop. So one must utilize these avenues, right? And go there, learn new things, and come back and implement those things. Because learning is one thing, and actually implementing those concepts and gaining learnings from that is, different thing. So if one actually does that, then the learning will actually be there for a long time, and learning actually compounds. हम जब छोटा 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 चीज कहीं पर सीखते हैं तो उसका compounding effect हो जाता है. Okay. And overall your management or your bosses, they are also actually keenly observing कि कौन कितना मेहनत कर रहा है, कौन कितना focused है learning पे, और are they just doing what is required for the job and that's it, आगे बढ़ना नहीं चाहते हैं, they are not growth oriented या career oriented नहीं है. Because learning, it can never happen by chance. It has to be a constant endeavor. You have to actually thought, तभी होगा learning, and that is very very much required.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I hope that our viewers, the transitioning officers, or those who have already transitioned, they will use these this guidance to actually get better assimilation in corporate culture and have a very, very exciting career in the corporate. Thank you so much for your time, Ram sir.